Hey folks, welcome to a freezing cold downtown Toronto. Today is Tuesday, January 14th. The time right now is 5:01 p.m. and the temperature is about -6 degrees Celsius. And according to my phone, with the wind chill, it feels more like -15. And there's a look north up Yonge Street. That was Queen Station I just climbed out of. There's the Eaton Centre across the street. And I'll be heading down to Queen Street East and then walking over to Mutual Street. And I'll be walking north up the entire length of Mutual. And we'll head back over to Yonge on Maitland. Looks like some kind of film shoot going on at the Elgin and Winter Garden Stack Theaters. But in September of 2023, I did a walk that went down Maitland, or rather, well, that one went along Maitland, but it went down Mutual Street. I described it as being a bit of an oddball street that seems to lack any defining characteristics. But it does feature, I guess, what you could call an adult sex club. And that would be Oasis Aqua Lounge right at Mutual and Carlton as we get a look over at Saks Fifth Avenue. And another look north up Yonge, but let's head east along Queen Street East here, alongside some Ontario Line construction. So we have a few blocks to go before we get to Mutual. Which I think is only about 1.5 kilometers or so. So it's not the longest street. There's St. Mike's Hospital across the street. This street here is Victoria Street. All right. In February, I'll be back to this street as the passport office is here. Mine is expiring later this year. So after I come back from a trip, I'll be replacing it with a new one. Yeah, there's definitely a film shoot going on at the Elgin and Winter Garden. You can see all the big trucks behind it. We're on the east side of downtown. There's an orthopedic clinic just in there that I visited after breaking one of my fingers pretty badly. This is Bond Street.
No, seriously.
There's the Metropolitan United Church. Christmas service, December 24th at 4 and 11 p.m. Going to a Christmas service at 11 p.m. on Christmas Eve would kind of give some Home Alone vibes. I guess that's my point of reference for that type of thing. It's a beautiful looking building. The original church on that site dates back to 1818. Let's pick up the pace here and try to get this light cycle as we cross Church Street in a moment. There's downtown camera. This is Dalhousie Street. And not too long ago, where this condo is, used to be a big parking lot. There's been a whole lot of change in this immediate area. And this should be Mutual Street coming up. They've got a big piece of artwork in the middle there. When I last visited here in that 2023 walk, I think this was not even above ground yet, or barely above ground. And this one most definitely wasn't. We've made it to Mutual Street. There's what the southern terminus looks like. And we immediately run out of sidewalk. This is a nice little public space, and it looks like there's already people occupying the condos. And there they've incorporated a building that dates back to 1889. That was originally a stove store, of all things. And a 34-story condo has swallowed up that heritage building. Mutual Street definitely has more of a side street feel to it. This isn't the safest thing to encounter as a pedestrian. A car could come whipping through there. Just gotta slowly peek out. And these buildings here date back to the 1890s. And that's about it as far as historically significant buildings go on this street. There's another new condo. think this building's address is actually Shooter Street. It disappeared for a while. It was boarded up. That's also been incorporated into a new development. Is there a safe way to cross over to the north side here? As we continue north. We are in a part of the city known as the Garden District. This park is called the Arena Gardens. So coming up is Dundas Street. Is that measuring someone walking? All right, let's try to make this light cycle as we cross Dundas Street East. Dundas Square, just off in that direction. I think my cheeks are starting to freeze. It is definitely a cold night to take a walk, but it's good to get out and get those steps in. And this building on the right is 221 Jarvis Street. That's an inverted pyramid office building from 1971. Was once the headquarters of Sears Canada, and it was connected to this building over here, the merchandise building that now houses lofts. It's been converted. It was one of the earlier loft conversions in the city, dating back to 2000. There were some just before that over in the Carlaw area, or around Carlaw on the east side. And just a few years ago, none of those towers were there around Jarvis and Dundas. That intersection has transformed dramatically. Charcoal kebab house, Uyghur cuisine. building here is a heritage building, and that has a Metro grocery store. I think that's the one where the Ken Continuum tends to do most of his grocery shopping. He's a fellow Toronto YouTuber. There's the former Ryerson University, now TMU. And this is Gould Street, which cuts right through TMU. I don't think they could have picked a more generic sounding university name if they tried. Just another look at that Metro. There you go, Garden District. See, I'm not that crazy. Next up is Carlton Street, and we'll be, well, Gerrard Street, then Carlton, and we'll be walking by Oasis. A lot of people out with gloves or without gloves on. It's always interesting seeing how people bundle up differently for the freezing cold. Now we have another street to cross with no marked crossing. There's Hooker Harvey's. And look west along Gerrard. Pina Land has been there for a while, and it's had that redevelopment notice up on it for a while. Not sure if that's a failed project or why it hasn't got off the ground yet. A&A Records, Sam the Record Man. There's also an HMV, all just to the west of here on Yonge Street. Oh, this property is all boarded up. Probably to be gutted and form the facade of a condo. This is McGill Street. That one doesn't connect to Yonge. Well, I think it does if you're a pedestrian, but you can't drive there along it if I'm not mistaken. And there is Oasis Aqua Lounge straight ahead. That's a sex club founded in 2010. It's described as a water-themed adult private lounge and spa. And someone just went in there. As we look west towards College Park. There used to be a single-story commercial building right behind it. That was demolished and turned into a parking lot, and now a condo has appeared. Imagine being the realtor trying to explain the benefits of being located right next to this place. Open 7 days a week from 1 p.m. to 3 a.m. As we've made it to College Street, or rather Carlton, as we are a bit east of Yonge Street. That building there's the old Primrose Hotel, now a student residence for TMU. Gonna look at Oasis Aqua Lounge. So this should take us up to Maitland. But it feels more like I've been on a number of smaller streets stitched together. I think that's the... Actually don't know what that is. I know the Church Street Junior Public School is just up here on the left. And the Church Wellesley Village is also just up here on the left. That is Wood Street. Got someone rolling, or people rolling their hockey equipment. Is this car gonna stop? No, of course not. That's what happens when you have virtually zero enforcement of traffic rules. And this is the northern terminus of Wood Street. did it from the south end to the north end. And this is Maitland Street now. We're going to head east or west over to Yonge Street. There's a building all boarded up. This area has a walk score of 99, which is as good as you can get. That means it would have almost everything a resident might need within walking distance of here. They're not far from multiple buses as well as a subway line. I think to get a score of 99, it has to be an area where one could live without a car quite easily. Right, this is Church Street. We're going to continue along Maitland over to Yonge. Once asked on a live stream what was going on in that building with those flashing lights. Apparently that may or may not be an establishment not unlike Oasis Aqua Lounge. There's a British pub across the street from an Irish pub. Some nice old walk-up apartment buildings right across the street from what looks like a 60s era apartment. And some of the city's, or at least downtown's, earliest apartment buildings are coming up on the right. 32 and 42. They're dubbed the Maitlands. There's a now leasing sign in front of this one. That's 42. They date back to 1990, and there's plans to build high-rises or build a high-rise that incorporates these buildings into it. I think they would be gutted completely. Plans across the street here. To put up a 49-story tower where that building is. know what? I can go on Yonge Street anytime. In fact, I do go on Yonge Street quite a bit. Let's cut through this parking lot here. Walkway? Really? All right, I'll take your word for it. Apparently this is a walkway. Looks like it was built for automobiles, not so much a person on foot. And that is Wellesley Station straight ahead. We hear the Line 1 subway rumble underneath. And that explains why Wellesley Station is well east of Yonge Street. The line doesn't run directly under Yonge Street for this part. This is the only subway station on this side of Line 1 downtown that you can't access from the west side of Yonge Street. This is the most bullshit, disingenuous walkway I've ever been on. Walkway my ass. But still, it did the trick. There we go, Wellesley Station. I'm gonna put the camera away here, but I hope you enjoyed this one, featuring Mutual Street around the east side of downtown. Do let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink!